Hello everybody and welcome back to the funniest tweets. Today is the Monaco Grand Prix edition. That was a race, apparently. What we just watched, 78 laps, they are claiming is a race. Anyway, we've got lots to reflect on. One moment in the race to reflect on, and then it's a Charles Leclerc victory parade. So hope you're locked in. Your memes were amazing. Let's dive into them right now. Lap 1, carnage. So, lap 1, the only bit of real action that went on, if we're being completely honest with you. And we're going to start with Brink. Kevin Magnussen, Monaco Grand Prix highlights. Now, I know for a fact that Tommy is going to pop off in the podcast, and I'm going to use some of this to pop off right now in funniest tweets, because as much as we're looking at a funny video game thing to kind of showcase what K-Mag's race was, how on God's green earth is that a racing incident? No further action for K-Mag. My guy, of course, alongside Nico Hulkenberg, both got disqualified through no fault of their own. Haas, little technical whatever it is, fault, didn't do something right. You know what I'm saying? Gets a reasonable start, gets past his teammate, sees Perez, goes, there is a gap. There wasn't a gap. And he went for it, and he shouldn't have. Disaster. Deserving of a penalty, deserving of a week off at the Canadian Grand Prix. 2 penalty points, it should have been at least. The FIA bottled it. At Pigeon Pasta, Martin Brundle trying to find someone with an interest in F1 on the grid walk. Now, myself and Tommy were at an event, so we were kind of getting snippets of the grid walk, but not really. And just standard Monaco things, isn't it, with Martin Brundle? That's what we tune in for, though. We tune in, as much as we might go online and go, my God, that's so cringe. Oh, God, I hate that. We all kind of watch it for those moments that are a little bit weird. You know what I'm saying? And these kind of events at Formula One, the more posher ones, definitely deliver that. At Sandy86841245, how did TV Direction miss the massive collision? Now, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt this time, and I don't usually with TV Direction, but I will say that obviously we are focusing towards the front. By the way, can you hear that my voice pretty gone? And that's because I've been screaming my face off in that last lap when Charles Leclerc won. We'll get onto that. But sorry that my voice is a little bit raspy and a little bit struggling. But yes, the TV Direction, I will give them the benefit of the doubt this time that perhaps, of course, we're focusing at the front, then the big crash happens, and Perez's car was visibly very mashed up. And I believe, as I say, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt that perhaps they've gone, let's just wait and see that everybody's okay before we then show the incident that's gone on. Because, yeah, Perez's car was quite shockingly destroyed with all of that. But thankfully, they all walked away absolutely fine. And that's what we want to hear as F1 fans. At F1 Dirty Side and K-Mag on lap 1 decides to take a week off. That's what all of us, I say all of us, myself and Tommy, that were live on Twitch, believed, and I think a lot of people watching along did as well, that was a Stonewall penalty. A Stonewall race ban. You're not getting 1 penalty point for that. It was a catastrophic incident. You just don't put your car there. You just don't. Like, what is he thinking? He's had a good start. I know Perez is kind of in the middle of the track. You back out. You back out at Monaco. You do not try and go side by side up the hill when your front left tyre is barely past the right rear of the Red Bull. Absolutely bonkers, in my opinion. I want yours. Was K-Mag's attempt at a move silly? Did you respect it? Or should he be on a beach somewhere when the Canadian Grand Prix happens? Now, the next talking point is also on lap 1 because, well, lap 1 is all that really happened in the Monaco Grand Prix, and it was Ocon versus Gasly. Oh my goodness me. What on earth went on there? At James Sibella, Ocon being a teammate again. I love Esty Bestie. I think he's a lovely bloke. I think he's misunderstood about what he is as a person compared to how he is on track. That move, I know they got away with it in Miami and had some of the greatest wheel-to-wheel action I think anyone's ever seen in that sort of two-thirds part of the lap in Miami through that chicane. Everything was beautiful. Ocon's gone for a move up the inside. If you are pulling a move like that, especially on your teammate, don't wash wide. Don't understeer. Don't even remotely get close to him. And what did he do? He understeered and went flying. Oh, I will say, actually, let me throw this meme in before we carry on with the Ocon versus Gasly. Mr. Mullet 06, Ollie Behrman watching the race right now. I reckon he started doing some stretches, getting limbered up for the Canadian Grand Prix. Started doing some neck exercises in the back of the paddock. But he doesn't have to. Absolutely ridiculous. At Scuderia Scoop, Ocon and Gasly in Parc Ferme. I would love to be a fly on the wall in that motorhome today. Oh my goodness me. What did he do? What did he do, Gasly, on the radio? You think, maybe they've seen past their differences. Maybe they'll be okay. They're not going to be okay. They might say that we're fine. You know, we've everything in the past is in the past. We're good friends. We're Gucci. Their actions on track speak volumes about what actually is their relationship. And it is, I will beat you at all costs. And this time Ocon decided to do that. And my God, he's going to be regretting that. Bruno Faman on the, was it on the pit wall? No, it wasn't on the pit wall, was it? It was being interviewed by someone. I'm not going to fully quote it because I don't have it. But apparently it was sort of translated to the fact that Ocon's going to have to seek some sort of punishment or whatever it was. We'll see what happens there. But oh dear. At Johnsys_corner, well, at least Ocon only took himself out. That is true. Gasly actually got a point. Despite all of that kicking off, he's still got a point, which is miraculous, because I'm sure he was running with a bit of damage. Ocon more so, and unfortunately had to get, DNF'd, and then got a 10-second penalty after he is already probably in the shower somewhere, which I found very strange. At Jamie_Bestie, Alpine right now. I get along shirt. Oh, goodness great. I don't think they're going to be getting along much longer. Not going to lie to you. And then also there's one. I love it when people meme this. It's so good. At Rishab27719995. This is Rocket League. Oh, goodness gracious me. That is quite something. It really is. And quite the two visibly shocking impacts. One, of course, for Ocon flying, and the other one for Perez's car just being obliterated. And then Monaco was like, done for the day. Thank you. Lap 1, done and dusted. Enjoy the next 77 laps, because I ain't delivering nothing. Oh, I've seen another K-Mag one. I have to throw this in. It's all lap 1, still in the same topic. At The Real Decoy, K-Mag. The wall, is this a gap? No, it wasn't, K-Mag. It was not a gap. And you are very lucky that we got away with that incident with nobody getting harmed. Okay? So silly. And Tommy is, as I said, Tommy's got some words to say in the podcast. Back to Ocon versus Gasly. Violet Marble fan, the return of the French Civil War. Have a clean race or show your French supremacy. Oh, Ocon is choosing that second one every single day of the week. It is a fascinating teammate dynamic, though, you have to admit. As much as they're coming together, whatever, it makes for good drama, good television. I'm glad they both got away with that one. Well, I say get away as in got away with not being harmed, because goodness gracious me, Ocon went flying. But they're not happy bunnies, and God knows what's going to happen for the rest of the season. And finally, Mubarak AM7, DTS when they see Esteban dive bombing Gasly and damaged his car. Yeah, Drive to Survive is going to be an interesting one already. There's quite a few little storylines that are poking through. So I'm going to tune in for sure. Honourable mentions. Well, there's absolutely no surprise that it pretty much was lap 1 carnage and then everything else kind of little that might have gone on, because Monaco showed us what free practice 4 would look like on a Sunday. That's what it felt like. If anything, there are more overtakes in free practice because there's slow and fast runners and everyone on different run plans. Quite possibly one of the worst races I've ever watched, because not only is it difficult to overtake, but the red flag meant that hardly anybody pit as well. It was a 0-stop race, which I'm pretty sure I wished for on the podcast, potentially with Tommy, leading up to this weekend. Sorry in advance, but I'm not sorry in the slightest, because it gave a very lovely run through for Charles Leclerc. At Brake Bias 50, George Russell this race holding everyone. Yep, Verstappen and Red Bull were a little bit confused as to why George was going so slowly. George and Mercedes, on the other hand, were like, well, there's literally no point going any quicker. We're not going to challenge the top 4. Just chill out, bruv. You're good. It's not exactly what they said. They had to run their own race, starting on the hards, then having the red flag, forcing them onto the mediums. Hamilton was not happy, was he, with the team radio? He was like, I knew we shouldn't have done this. Slight bit of friction going on with Mercedes and Hamilton at the moment. Hamilton in his post-quali interview suggesting that George will out-qualify him for the rest of the year, because he doesn't really say why. And yeah, it's not quite the ending to their harmonious world title winning relationship that they've had in the past, eh? This next one is absolutely brilliant. A_MythX. George Russell with his famous pose. That is just 10 out of 10. And that was Russell. Russell did what Alonso did maybe a couple of years ago, where he just backed the pack up. And to be fair, Alonso did it this year as well, for no reason, because Lance Stroll decided to crash into the wall and get a puncture. But yeah, George was the front-running Alonso for this year. At Isa Mary Hoff, George Russell right now knowing not even Max Verstappen can overtake in Monaco. I do have a little gripe with commentary this weekend. I don't know if they were just trying to hype up what was quite clearly a dead horse, flogging it. But why did they keep suggesting that Leclerc might pit or Piastri might pit when they had Sainz and Norris behind them? We know. How long has Monaco been on the... We know. 1929, I think the first race was. It's been around for a very long time, and I can promise you, since day dot, it has been track position. Why are we saying that they might be going for a pit stop? Max Verstappen goes for a pit stop, could not get through on George Russell, who was on 300-lap-old mediums. Come on. Wheel knowledge. At Ashwin_13, Charles breathes. Charles engineer, I'm not interested. That was quite a funky little message, wasn't it? I mean, I am enjoying Charles's new radio engineer. He seems a little bit more personable, a little bit more personality, and then also just being very, you're doing a good job. There's a lot of him, you're doing a good job, you're doing a great job, you're doing a good job. And I'm liking the communication there. Felt like that little bit of banter just takes the edge off slightly, perhaps in a very high-pressured environment, like trying to win your first home Grand Prix. So yeah, I approve. At Delboy JH, Bottas just overtook Logan Sargent for P13. That was, I think, maybe the first overtake of the race, at least after lap 1, and I think that was on lap 50, was it? Might have been something around then. Wow, what did we watch? But Charles Leclerc won. But what did we watch? But Charles Leclerc did win, so it is a 10 out of 10. But yes, Valtteri Bottas. I love, at one point, I think he was in the running for driver of the day because of that one move. What is it with Bottas and just being in the shout for driver of the day for doing little to nothing? Miami was another one, now Monaco, but fair enough. He gave us the one overtake that we'd seen. At JoGoat 6P, Piastri chasing Leclerc be-like. For the majority of the race, yes. At the start, Oscar Piastri is the greatest of all time in that first sort of 3 to 5 laps. Because he goes, tyre wear who? I ain't interested. I'm going for track position. And fair enough, great to watch. terrible if you wanted Charles Leclerc to win, because I honestly thought at one point Piastri had a run for a little dive bomb. I'm seriously glad he didn't do it, otherwise he would have obviously been ousted out of the Leclerc family. But yeah, Oscar Piastri, just saying, great qualifier. Lando definitely has more race pace just in general over a season, but Oscar gets himself in these positions by being an amazing one-lap kind of lad. I was about to call him a specialist. I'd say, yeah, he's a one-lap specialist. But he's also decent in the race and getting there with experience. But quali, top notch. At WV_J Bird, seeing as we are talking about Oscar Piastri, should have known it would require Leclerc power to take down Max Kurse. Now, I am not going to... Biggest flop is still on a streak, because Oscar Piastri did not actually take part in the Monaco Grand Prix. It was Oscar Piastri Leclerc. So it's messed with the powers. It's messed with what I've actually gone for here. It's in the FP1 graphics. Don't come at me if you're saying the biggest flop didn't come in. Oscar Piastri didn't take part. At your number one fan, 59418, someone take away Matt's right to edit the podium score on the app. Yeah, so for, Charles Leclerc winning around Monaco was such an unprecedented thing to happen. The F1 app couldn't handle it and just said Leclerc was first, second and third, which actually means Charles Leclerc is leading the World Championship. I'll take it. And finally, Delbar_Jan_Afza, the real King Charles. Charles Leclerc won Monaco. Charles Leclerc won Monaco. I was buzzing. I was absolutely buzzing. Just so happy for the lad. And I know a lot of people will be tuning in to see my reaction, perhaps. Just relieved for him. So much emotion around it. Alex Jakes did the most beautiful last lap commentary, just kind of tapping into the emotional journey that Charles Leclerc's been through. And it was brilliant. So if you haven't listened to that, go and listen to it. I have actually quote tweeted it on my Twitter, Matt P1 Gallagher. Yeah, just amazing. And it felt like it was a foregone conclusion because of it being Monaco. But you never know. The Monaco curse might have just thrown a spanner in Leclerc's engine with one lap to go, and you would have never seen of me again. But thankfully it didn't happen. And Charles Leclerc won Monaco, and Fred jumped in the sea. You had the Prince getting the champagne out. This is what we live for as Formula One fans, isn't it? This is what this sport is all about. I love it. Right, it is now time for Tommy Stacey Tweet, sponsored by EA and F124. Tommy, who has mustered up a banger and is going to win F124 when it releases?
It is an absolute banger. It's from Ultra Nerd. Let's play the audio.
Oh, no, I ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen nothing. Matter of fact, I'm blind in my left eye and 43% blind in my right eye. I don't see much of nothing. Matter of fact, I can't even see you, sir.
Yeah, that is a banger. If you watch the watch along, you'll know my reaction. I'll probably pop off in the podcast about it as well, about the FIA and their penalty points system. But this is on the money, big time.
It's beautiful, actually, because I think, I've teased your pop-off twice in this episode already.
Oh, wow.
So we are expecting some serious juice coming out of you in the Full Race podcast. That's the strangest sentence I've ever said. But thanks, Tommy. We will see you soon. Right, thank you so much, everybody, for watching the funniest tweets to the Monaco Grand Prix. I am, of course, buzzing. I'm very tired, so I've been travelling, event, whatever, but hopefully hopefully I've remembered everything that happened in the Monaco Grand Prix. Hopefully I remembered lap 1. If you stuck through those 78 laps at home and didn't fall asleep, fair play to you, because it was a tough one. Big thanks to EA and F124 for sponsoring the series as always, and Tommy's tasty tweet. And we will see you very soon for our podcast as always. Driver ratings will be back this week, and lots more content. So subscribe, see you soon. Lots of love. Bye! Charles Leclerc won Monaco.